So basically, there are three course highlights that the committee wanted me to present or to share. Firstly, on how to present in a virtual conference. Secondly, is on the tips on engaging pitch for a poster presentation. And finally, how to present for a 3-minute thesis competition. Okay, let's start. Okay, before I start, the first thing that is very important as a presenter or a speaker or even a communicator is to get to know the audience in this virtual room. So I hope everyone can scan or even go to the link that I have provided, scan the QR code, and I want to know the background of our audience. So please do so. I will see the response in the Google form. So please take several minutes to fill in this form. So can you scan? There's another activity that we want to do here, another QR code that you can scan. This is a two-way interaction between you or me as a speaker and you as the audience. So you can go to slido.com and enter that number, or you can just simply scan the QR code. So I would like to know what bothers you to speak publicly, or even in a small group or in a mass presentation. So maybe you can express your thoughts or your best feelings. What actually bothers you to speak publicly? What crosses your mind, or what stops you from speaking publicly? Okay, shy. I'm not sure what the number does. Okay, shy. Most of you are shy. Shy, shy, shy cat. Such Malay saying. Nervousness. Okay, stage fright. Lack of vocabulary. Okay. I see confidence. Bullying by public. Okay, that's new to me. Scared I say something wrong. All right. Not fluent in speaking English. Me too. I admit that I am not that very good at speaking in English, but over the time you can practice with your friends, practice with your colleagues on how to speak. So I believe all of us, most of us, English is not our mother tongue. English is our second language. What if I don't have anything bothering me to speak publicly? Then I think you are I think you are in the right platform, but you can just be my audience and you don't have to respond to this. But there must be something, right? Afraid. Oh, okay. Insecurity. Stammering. Okay. So basically, not fluent. All right. How to express yourself. Okay. Anyone else to put something in this slide? Okay. So nervousness is the main obstacle that I believe most of the participant is facing for to speak publicly, for any public speaking. Attention center, basically you are insecure for yourself. You don't want many eyes looking at you at the same time, isn't it? But I don't think that is applicable for you mean virtual platform, right? It's only your laptop, your laptop screen is facing you. Time limitation, okay. Okay. So okay. I think I will give another 1 minute. So basically, all of these concerns that bother you to speak publicly, I will basically cover in this course today. So I hope all of you will evaluate yourself like before this course and after this course, so you can basically be enlightened on what you're going to do afterwards, after this course. Somehow feel like my ears block whenever I'm presenting. So I'm not sure whether it's a medical complication, sorry, or something that is going to do with your, I don't know, maybe something when you're having a stage fright, you see, the hormones in your body is like going haywire, you see. So you're shaking and then you cannot hear anything. When you are having a stage fright, like everything is like going not the right way, right? So maybe, okay, let's move on. Yes, that's true. Overthinking. How are you going to overthink and speak at the same time? Okay, that is like contradict to each other. Okay, now I would like to share to all of you a key principles of becoming a better communicator by a speech pathologist and a lecturer at Harvard, Dr. Marjorie L. North. So there are several key principles. I think I can briefly describe one by one principles. Okay, there are basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 based from Marjorie L. North. So there are 9 key principles based on her research. So firstly is be okay with being nervous. Why be okay with being nervous is the first key principle that you should comprehend, because this is similarly correlated to stage fright. Nervousness is common and it is not an uncommon thing to happen in our life. Even those who are a leader of a nation is still have nervousness in himself or herself, because nervousness cannot be basically removed completely from one person. So be okay with being nervous. Learn on how to control your nervousness. Okay, there are several tips that you can find online on how to avoid or how to reduce your stage fright. So basically, in my experience, to be calm or to be less nervous is basically you need to prepare, obviously. And if you are still nervous, do something. It's like control your breathing, control your air before you start presenting on the stage or before you start presenting virtually, and then have something, meaning have some breakfast or eat something before you present and drink. Don't let your mouth go dry. All right. Secondly, you should know your audience, which I did before this slide. All right. So basically, you should know your audience depending on what kind of presentation that you are going to do. So basically, if you're presenting for an assignment or in a class, you should basically do a two-way interactions, which I have done before, which I did just now. And basically, from that point, you will know what will your audience be or what are their backgrounds. So you basically can focus on certain things that you don't have to speak like generally. So basically, if the audience is in the range of your expertise or in your field, then you know how to speak better, or you can deliver your scientific terms or your terminology that is very niche in your area to your audience. So you can communicate to them in a better way. So you should know your audience by asking questions, right? So ask them questions. It's not only the audience to ask the question. So basically, the Q&A session is not only for the audience to ask the question, but you can also ask them for some enlightenment. All right. So number 3 is to prepare and plan ahead. What is about preparation? So basically, preparation is, so for example, right? If you're going to enter 3MT or you're going to enter Film Lab or any competitions that require you to speak publicly or do some speeches, so you need to prepare. You need to understand or comprehend the basically the terms and conditions of that kind of competition. So you will know how to do about the speech. You need to prepare the script. You need to know the time limitation, the time limit. You know who are the judges, who are the audience. So that are important. All right. Those are is the outline and draft. So basically, outline and draft can be in a script. So there are difference, right, in virtual and also physical presentation, right? So in physical presentation, you cannot bring your full script with you. It's like an obvious thing that makes you not ready, or people will see you as unprepared presenter. So what can you do in a physical presentation? You can bring a card or anything that is smaller than a A4 paper. So basically, this card can help you to basically go with the flow of the speech, right? So you know the draft of the speech from one point to another point. All right. So in a virtual conference, I think it's safe if you can put the whole script on your screen, or even you can print it. You can print it out and put next to your camera, this camera. All right. So don't make it obvious. Put your script next to your camera. So it's also, although you are reading your script, it is as if you are memorizing and you are fluent in your speech. So that is some of the tricks that you can do for virtual presentation. So next thing is practice, practice, and practice. So without practice, you can never do better than anyone. So even a good leader will practice for their speeches. All right. So practice in front of your friends, practice in front of the mirror. All right. There is no such thing that you are born to be a speaker. Everybody needs practice. So it's a different thing between a skill and a naturally gifted speaker. You see, speaking is a skill that you need to acquire. It's not, it doesn't come naturally. Even a good speaker or even a prominent figure must have some education, or at least a good vocabulary factory that he or she can use for the speech. All right. Next thing in life is listen to your audience. What does it mean, listen to your audience? And what is the difference between know your audience and listen to your audience? So basically, when listening to your audience, you should listen and comprehend them clearly and specifically. As a lecturer or a teacher or somebody who is going to present something in front of the students or somebody else, maybe teaching your products, teaching your something, and then you should listen to the query that they put or they deliver to you. So basically, when listening closely, you can answer the questions in a very specific way. All right. So you can answer them correctly. It is not like you're going to put their question aside, but you should answer them directly or immediately on the point. If you feel somehow the question is too hard for you or it is not really clear, you can come back to them later. All right. Next thing is make eye contact. So in physical presentation or speech, making eye contact is very important. You see, it's not like 100% or along or wholly in the along the speech from start to end of the speech you need to make an eye staring contest with them. No. So basically we'll be speaking in front of maybe 1%, more than 1%, or even a mass lecture. You should make an eye contact with them regularly, not from 0 hour to your last sentence in your speech. So there are certain tricks that you can do in making eye contact. So when you are emphasizing something or you want to highlight something, then you can make an eye contact with them. So this is one of the tips that I can share. And another thing, if you are somehow as a speaker, we are tired of giving an eye contact. So at certain times, you can like see in around their eyes area, in their foreheads or at next to their eyesight. So that is better because actually, as a speaker, I'm not sure whether some of you have felt this before. When you're making an eye staring contest with your audience or participant, it's quite tiring, you see. All right. Next thing is to stand and sit up straight in a physical presentation. Of course, you need to stand up straight. You cannot be slouchy. You cannot like go like a snake. You see. So you need to stand up straight. You need to have your body posture ready. All right. And also, if you're sitting, sit up straight. Don't slouch on the chair or whatever you are sitting on. All right. So this will increase your charisma. So people will look at you, oh, he or she is good in a posture. All right. So lastly, it's just be yourself. What does it mean by be yourself? There's actually a lot of comments and questions. Maybe the moderator can help me later, right? Clary? Okay. So basically be yourself, right? What does it mean by be yourself? Be yourself in a speech is basically means that you have to be yourself and not copying others basically other style. Okay, we are talking about style. Okay, maybe you see this one friend, his or her style of speech is something like this, but you don't have to copy particularly from that person. You just have to be yourself. So, okay, that is about the physical presentation in general by Dr. Marjorie L. North. And how about the virtual? So I came up with these tips personally based on my experience. So basically, you need to use a familiar platform. Okay, I think most of you have come across WebEx, Google Meet, and so on. All right. So use a family platform that you know. So basically, you're not staggering. You will not go confused with the system and the interfaces. All right. And then ensure. Firstly, you need to ensure a good audio and video before you start. Okay, that is very important to make the flow of the presentation go smoothly. All right. Next in line is a good and stable internet connection. Obviously, go somewhere with a good and stable internet connection. Probably you can go somewhere with more than 2 bars of internet. Don't go anywhere with 1 bar. I think because that is quite risky of disconnecting. All right. I'm going for 3MT and poster presentations or alike. Okay. This slide is more on the scientific presentation or pitching. The previous two slides are on the sharing on more general presentation. So you have to differentiate them. All right. So in a scientific presentation or pitching, there are certain things that you need to be aware. So basically, scientific communication requires a lot of terminologies that you need to use. There are a lot of somehow a slightly different vocabularies that you have to use. It's not an everyday vocabulary in home, right? There are certain vocabularies that you are going to use frequently for scientific communication. Okay, there are several things that you need to be concerned for scientific presentation. So basically, you need to know your audience or judges, practice within time limit, use analogies and examples, avoid jargons or complicated terms. Then don't put too much unnecessary details. Avoid spilling your weakness on your speech or presentation unless asked. Support with literatures and also make positive comparisons. All right, so we have completed the 3MT. So these are more tips about do's and don'ts in the slide. So this is very specific in the slide. So basically in 3MT, 3-minute thesis of 3-minute thesis, I can say, PIMLab doesn't require you to have slides, but 3MT require you to have one slide, one static slide, no animation, no movement. Okay, how about the do's in the slide? So you will use engaging figures, tables, or graphs, and then use nice color theme. I think 3 colors should be enough, okay? Not more than 3 colors. So people will see rainbow in their eyes, all right? Use only 3 colors at maximum. So depending on what theme that you're going to use. If it's a green theme, then you can use blue and green and white, okay? For example. And if it's a marketing theme, you can use some more vibrant colors such as yellow, red, or maybe bright blue, you see, like the Maxis, right? Or KFC, or Mary Brown, McDonald, they all use a very vibrant marketing color, all right? You can do some research about marketing color, all right? So the fonts and the figures or the tables should be big enough and suitable in the terms of fonts and size, which people can read them. And your slides should be neat and tidy. So arrange them properly. So this is your introduction. So maybe you would like to make your slide in a flow of your study. Maybe start with the first objective and then final objective and so on. And always follow the rules, all right? If you're not following the rules, and what for, you enter the 3MT, right? And how about the don'ts? Don't use any wordy slide, okay? Convert the words or sentences into engaging figures or pictures, right? Use something that is very interesting, right? Maybe you can use a picture of a Lego, an apple to basically to represent your research or product. So use your creativity. Okay. So now we have arrived in our conclusion for today. I think I have taken about like more than 1 hour today. So the rest of the time I can give ways for Q&A. So as a conclusion for this course, you need like to practice 1,000 times. Even you need to love 3,000 times, right? So what about practice 1,000 times? I believe you can do that as well. Not only love. Okay. So don't be shy. Try to speak other than your mother tongues, right? So don't be shy. Overcome your shyness. Overcome your nervousness. Try to speak. Practice speaking with your friends. Listen to radio. Read books, right? So this is how you practice. And you can also read vocabularies. You can also read thesaurus, read dictionaries to improve your vocabularies. So don't we are growing older, right? We are becoming a matured person. So don't use the same vocabulary as you use in your childhood. Okay, be one step above, right? So increase or enhance your vocabularies. So engage in a conversation, right? Although you're shy, if you're eternally a shy person, then I believe it is quite a challenge for you to become a better or fluent speaker or communicator. So you need to firstly engage your conversation. So try to speak with anybody other than your friends and engage in the conversation, right? And then you need to listen and respond appropriately and very humbly, okay? Don't ever condemn don't irritate your audience. So there you have to speak positively and constructively. Do not downgrade others. This is more about moral concern in speaking or conversation or in a communication. And also always be inspired by somebody or by any figure that you or any model that you have look up to, right? Always be inspired. So that makes you want to talk more, that makes you want to engage more in the conversation. Like even you can also engage the conversation with your supervisor. Don't only listen to your supervisor, command and respond. All right. Don't only listen. You cannot always all the times say yes, but sometimes you can say no, but argue, make an argument positively. Okay, and be yourself. Like I said before, just be yourself. Don't try to copy other style. Just be your own style. Okay.